Okay, lastly, question 7. So if we're looking at question 7, it's saying this is a back-to-back stem and leaf. This side's the Abbey Hotel. This side's the Balmoral Hotel. And saying the key, that's 26. So write down the mode of the age of the residents for the Balmoral Hotel. So this is the Balmoral, pretty straightforward. Which one's the most common? It's got to be 50. So A is simply 50. Part B, find the values of the lower quartile, median and upper quartile. So if we start with the lower quartile, Q1. So the lower quartile, there are, if we count all of the people, there are 28 altogether. So I'm going to do 28 divided by 4, which gives me 7. Now, if this was continuous data, we'd find the 7th value. This is discrete data. So remember, if it's discrete data, we have to use that correction. So we're going to find the 7.5th value. So we're going to look in between the 7th and the 8th value. So all you're going to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 7th value is 45, the 8th value is 45, so the 7.5th value is also 45. So Q1 is 45. Q2, or the median, simply going to do 28 divided by 2, which gives you 14. Remember, again, it's discrete, so we're not finding the 14th value, we're finding the 14.5th value. So in between the 14th and 15th, so just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The 14th value is 50. The 15th value is 51. So in between those is 50.5. Is 3/4 of 28. And if we do that, we get 21. So we want the 21.5th value. So we want in between the 21st and 22nd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Is simply going to be 63. So that was part B, find the quartiles. Find the mean age of these residents. So for part C, if I want to find the mean age, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all of the values and divide by 28. So I'm going to do 26, add 34, add 34, add 37, and so on. And if you do all of that, you should get for C part 1, the mean age is 469 divided by 28, which gives you 52.46. Just be careful not to round that too much. That's the mean. And the second part of that question says, given that sigma x squared equals 81,213, find the standard deviation. So the standard deviation, the formula for standard deviation is the square root of sigma x squared over n minus sigma x over n all squared. So if we put in our values we know, that's going to be the square root of 81213 divided by 28 minus 1469 divided by 28 squared. And notice I've already worked that out here as a decimal, but just to keep it more accurate, I'm putting in the fraction again, this value. So I'm not losing any rounding marks as I do this. And if I put that in, I should get 12.16 as my standard deviation. Part D then gives you this, find the measure of skewness divided by standard deviation. So we've got all of those values. So part D, I'm just the mode of 50 divided by the standard deviation, gives an answer of 0.202 sig fig. So it's a slight positive skew. It doesn't ask you about that, it just says work it out. And lastly, part E said, compare the two age distributions of the residents in each hotel. And it gave you these values for the Abbey Hotel. It's worth 3 marks, so you're looking for 3 different types of comments. So you could have had one comment on the mean, the median, or the mode of each. So you could say the mean is greater at the Balmoral than the Abbey, or the median's greater. They were expecting one question on the spread or the range of the results. So you could say the standard deviation is less than the Abbey at Balmoral, or the range is less, or the interquartile range is bigger, something like that. And then for the final mark, so there's 3, they were asking about skewness. You've just worked out skewness here, and they've told you the skewness here. For the Balmoral, it had a positive skew. The Abbey had a negative skew. Something along those lines for your 3rd mark.